It's always going to be a big question if critics have any real influence on audiences. And so far, the answer appears to be mostly no, because Black Adam has really overperformed. Not by a lot, but it did do a lot better than the alleged critics thought it would, or even analysts who were really downgrading the film. Said, I only think The Rock will get us 50 million. It's the end of DC all over again. Well, they were wrong. But I'm going to start with Halloween Ends because that is technically a much bigger story and it is devastating. It is no nice way of putting it. Halloween Ends has collapsed. It's at least dropped off by 70%. Now, that estimate may be a little high, but the point is they've lost a huge amount of the audience. A huge part of this audience, good or bad, is not going to go see Halloween Ends. Now, did Peacock kill it? Or did the first box office? Because they got respectable numbers. You shouldn't lie. They did do pretty well. But the word of mouth, frankly, was terrible. There are a lot of Halloween fans, a lot of horror fans who really like this film. They even think it's a great film. But having gone through a lot of the reviews, not just Rotten Tomatoes, but the YouTube channels and people who are big and small, the big channels and the small channels, overwhelmingly, it's mainly negative. Some people do admit, yeah, there's positive stuff, but overwhelmingly, I think the vast majority, from what I can see, were at least disappointed. They understood what was happening, they could appreciate the strong points, but they didn't think it was that good, and they're very uneasy about paying for it and recommending it in the theater. Even on Peacock, some people are like, nah, this thing's horrible. The thing's a 1 out of 10. Don't see it. Don't even touch it. And now there's even a fan petition to remake the whole thing. And a lot of people are getting angry at that too, saying, come on, guys, a fan petition? Really? I'm not pro or con on the petition. I'm just saying, fans are upset. It's okay to express being upset. And listen, at the end of the day, it is about the money. If the studio thinks remaking the film will make them more money, they will remake the film. You may not like that. I may not like that. But that will happen. And clearly, this thing may flop. It's not a dispute. It's a fact. It may flop. Now, do I think it will flop? Probably not. But even if it turns a profit, it will be barely, which is definitely not what I predicted. So I was wrong because I expected at least half the audience to still show up this weekend. That is not going to happen. You can love Halloween Ends all you like, but that is a small minority. And you shouldn't be ashamed of that. But it does happen. You know, I like films where I appear to be the minority. I don't think I am. I think actually I'm the majority. But among the YouTube channels, clearly only a minority think The Last Jedi is great. Only a minority think BVS is great. I'm okay with that. I still think those are pretty good films. They have flaws, I admit that, but I think they're pretty solid. Whereas Halloween Ends is kind of the opposite. It's a film which is very flawed, but has some really good things in it, but it's not gone down well with critics. It's not gone down well with fans. That is a fact. Clearly, the audience has really declined, and that is it. But now with Black Adam, it's kind of the flip because critics pretty clearly just do not like this thing, and we're hammering how bad it was. Even the YouTube channels that you think would like this thing did not like it, and I respect these people. I even got into a tussle with Critical Overlord, and he was like, "You're an idiot. You were a mistake. Your mom had you, and it was a mistake." I was like, "Okay, so be it. It is what it is. We disagree. I still like his content, but I think he's wrong. I think most of these people are wrong. I think this is a legit good film, and the box office is reflecting that. Because I will admit, when I saw it in theater, it was not a big audience. There were not that many people in it, but people did show up. So real people have seen Black Adam. Maybe not massive amounts, because I saw Multiverse of Madness, and that was packed. That was packed. I could not even get the time slot I wanted. I had to wait for the next time slot, and there was only one ticket left. So it's not a runaway blockbuster like Multiverse of Madness, but I think this is a better film than Multiverse of Madness. So yeah, you can't determine quality from box office, but there is a rough correspondence, and apparently enough people think this is a quality film. It's not just Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This is a good film, pretty good performances all around. CGI spotty in a few places, but overall, this is a very strong film. Very good action, very good drama. There's a lot more depth than people, I think, want to give credit for. The Rock did his thing. He's getting a much-deserved box office triumph. Here, I think critics were wrong. I even think they were wrong with Halloween Ends because that's getting a low score, but even there, I think they're being too generous. At least with Halloween Ends, critics were roughly with the audience, but with Black Adam, I just don't think they know what they're talking about. I think they have a lot of weird nitpicks, and the audience is not listening to them. Now, will it be a massive success? Maybe not. Maybe it won't get to a billion, but I think it will have very respectable numbers. So, Black Adam 2 is now being planned. Will it be Shazam versus Superman versus Black Adam? Let's wait and see. Yes, they did tease Superman coming back at the end. So, looks like a bright future for the DCEU. Maybe not massive numbers like the Marvel films, but they are very respectable. There is an audience for these things. I would say the audience I saw it with was skewing a little bit older, but I saw it in the afternoon, so maybe the nighttime audience was much more massive. That's all I can say. And again, I saw it on Friday, not the weekends, so maybe it's more packed on the weekends. But there we are. So Black Adam will be a success, and Halloween Ends is, with only a lot of luck, will it be a very profitable film. And that is where we stand with the box office this weekend.